Hello, everyone. Welcome to Your Next Best Life. I'm Sarah Razanzif. Thanks for joining me. I've got a little bit of a different look today. It's very comfortable, and I'm having a great, relaxing day. Today, I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about for years. Now, I realize that not everybody has an attention span to listen to long videos, so I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. Also, I just want to let you know that I might refer, and I probably will refer to some biblical references because that's how I helped myself. And we'll get to what I mean in a moment. What I want to talk about is your mindset about yourself, your core beliefs about yourself. What do you believe about yourself at your very innermost being? And where did these beliefs come from? Did you know that what you believe about yourself at your core largely influences how you view the world, your emotions, and how well you do in life? So, I talked to somebody recently, and this woman told me that they were oppressed as soon as they walked out of the door of their house every single day. And it saddened me. I couldn't believe it. To go around believing that. So I asked some questions. I wanted to find out why she felt oppressed. I couldn't get any real factual examples of oppression from her that occurred to her. What I got was these broad concepts, but no specifics. Broad concepts that didn't really have any facts tied into them. Oftentimes, we believe things based on our past experiences or the past experiences of others, and those form our identity. Why should we allow what happens to other people to form our identity, or our father, what happened to our dad, or what happened to our brother or sister? Why should we allow what happened to them to form our identity and what we believe about ourselves? This is a question I ask myself. So I understand that this woman really believed those ideas. I understand they were very true to her. And perhaps the way you view yourself is very true to you. But I want to ask you, what factual evidence do you have in your life right now for what you believe about yourself? Do you feel unimportant? Do you feel like your life doesn't matter? Do you feel like you're in a dead-end job and you'll never get out of it and you're stuck and you're in limbo? Do you feel like everything you do fails? What has given you that idea? Do you feel unimportant because of the way somebody looked at you in the supermarket? Do you feel rejected? Let me ask you something. Could it be possible that that person is having a bad day and the way they look at you has nothing to do with you? The example of the woman I gave you earlier, she told me that everybody who looks at her, certain people, are thinking horrible thoughts about her. Where did she get this idea? Did you know that most people don't think about you at all? They don't think about you. Very rarely. They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about their problems. They're thinking about what they have to do in the next 5 minutes. They're thinking about what they have to do the next day, who they have to pick up from school, and things like that. They're not going around thinking about you. Do you believe that? So anyway, there's some other thoughts I just want to share. More often than not, we aren't aware of the fact that where we are today in the present is a reflection of our past. What do I mean by that? Your past doesn't define you. Your experiences don't define you. They happened to you. That doesn't mean they have to define you. Here's a little newsflash. I was raped. For many years, I allowed that to define me. But it didn't define me. For many years, I allowed the way men treated me to color my view of men because of something that happened to me. I allowed it to influence how I acted with other people. Let me ask you something. What past experiences that have happened to you have you allowed to define yourself? Have you allowed to influence your relationships with other people? You know, when I was throughout my marriage with my husband, topics come up, things happen. I get triggered. He gets triggered. And if you've been raped or had any traumatic event happen to you, it's actually very normal that you get triggered. And that's fine. But to allow that trigger to influence the way you act to other people as if they are the one at fault for what happened to you, that is not okay. So I had to learn to not treat my husband as if he was the perpetrator. And he really doesn't like that, when nobody likes that. When all of a sudden they're the ones taking the blame for what happened to you, when they didn't do anything to you at all, and they're getting the blame for it. That's not fair. So that's where we need to stop, and we need to stop and just work on ourselves some more and say, hang on, why am I letting this past experience influence the way I relate to people who never did anything to me? Why am I letting this past experience define me as a human being? It's controlling me. Why? That we have to stop. So, our past and our experiences are meant to teach us something. We're meant to learn and grow. We're meant to overcome them. We're meant to be conquerors. Okay? But if we're always looking to our past and we don't glean lessons, we are allowing our past to define us. And if we've had a negative past, guess what? We're going to be winding up living a life of victimhood instead of a life of conquering. And also, if we focus on those things, let me give you a little hint. Something negative happens to you. Something horrible. Instead of focusing on the negative that happened, yes, and I'm sorry if something horrible has happened to you. Instead of focusing on that negative, look for that one positive and focus on that. Look at that one way you handled that situation. Maybe you overcame. Maybe something bad happened to you, but you overcame because you fought to not let that horrible experience drag you down. So what am I saying? Whatever your inner monologue is going to influence your life. Your inner monologue is also formed by your past experiences. If we hang on to past negative experiences, those inner monologues and those negative experiences become limiting and influence our lives. You might be successful in business. You might be successful in, it's a sport or something. You might be very successful. But in here, there's something going on. And that will influence some area of your life, whether you like it or not. If you're hanging on to anger because of a past experience, I'm sorry, guys. Eventually, you're going to come to a place in your life where if you don't deal with that anger and if you don't let it go, you're not going to go forward for any further in a positive direction. So I understand that things that happen in our lives can cause us to form opinions about ourselves. That maybe, hey, every time I go out the door, people are thinking horrible things about me. Or people reject me. People don't like me. People think I'm fat. People think I'm ugly. Let me tell you what I did. I took the Bible because I used to have bad thoughts about myself. I took the Bible. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to tell you. So those negative thoughts that you have about yourself, guess what? They create negative emotions. And negative emotions are not fact. Negative emotions are not based in reality. Negative emotions are just that, negative emotions. So guess what? If you can control your thoughts, which you can do, you can have better emotions. So let me tell you what I did. I learned to control my thoughts. I don't accept every single thought that comes my way. I sometimes take them, I look at them and say, what do I want that thought for? Get away from me, okay? That's not a positive thought. That's not a thought that's based in reality. That's a thought based in an emotion. So I did that. And another thing I did was I took the Bible and I found every single scripture reference, every single pasuk that said, pasuk is verse, every single one that said something good. And I applied it to myself, such as, God is for me, who can be against me? Such as, I am more than a conqueror. Such as, God created me for his glory. Such as, God holds me by my right hand and says to me, fear not, I will help you. Such as, he has loved me from everlasting with loving kindness. Such as, he never lets my feet stumble. He enlarges my steps underneath me. He places me in a wide place. He opens wide my mouth that I might fill it. And he loves me. He has chosen me. I have been precious in his eyes. That he's with me wherever I go, and he never forsakes me, and he never fails me. That he makes me as a strong threshing iron in his hand, through which I can thrush the mountains and thrush the chaff and beat them down. It's Isaiah 40 something. Such as, he loves me. Those things helped me a lot reject the negative mindset that was formed from past experiences, negative ones, and emotions that I didn't know how to control. So maybe you believe in God and you need that help. Get your Bible out and you find those verses. And I know there's a tendency to say, oh, that doesn't mean me. You can speak them and they will have the same effect. Also, if you don't believe in God and you have a problem with that, I highly recommend to you to get some positive affirmations and say them while you're looking at yourself in the mirror. Say, I am important. Say, I overcome situations. Say, everyone loves me. I am happy. In fact, I forget who the psychologist was. He said that people are more apt to succeed if they can just practice saying things over and over and over and over again, no matter how many times it takes, 21 times, 30 times, and just say them repetitively, and that causes a change. So what do you want to do? Do you want to stay stuck in a negative mindset? Do you want to stick with those past experiences and allow them to define you, or the past experiences of your ancestors, or the past experiences of your brothers and sisters? I hope not. You don't need that. You were created for so much more than that. You were created to conquer. You were created to overcome. You were created to succeed, and you have a purpose. So I want to help. I hope the things I have said and little tidbits of information and the advice and the recommendations I gave helped. But more than that, you can just give me a call, give me an email, go to my website, call me up and say, Sarah, I am ready to change my life. I am ready to change my mindset. Will you be my coach? Let's get an initial consultation in. We'll meet, we'll go over things, and let me tell you what, it'll be the beginning of the start of your next best life. What do you have to lose, and what are you waiting for? www.yournextbestlife.com, or you can email me, yournextbestlife@gmail.com. And if you send me a message on Messenger, hey, I'll even give you my phone number. So you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Be blessed.